Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, GCW Most Notorious. This show happened this past Saturday at Harris Casino there in right outside of Philadelphia, home of the Collective, returning back there for a couple great shows over the weekend. So Most Notorious, first match we had the main event, Lyon, Midas Black taking on the Legion of Rot, Frightmare, and Hallowicked. This was just your standard main event kind of match. We had Lyon jumping through the hula hoop like he always does, doing his big dives. The Legion of Rot trying to get a little down and dirty on the ring, taking it to the outside a little bit. Just one of those matches where you just kind of watch it and you enjoy. One thing that's really interesting about Game Changer Wrestling is we have events like this where we don't have a lot of plunder being used. We don't have a lot of hardcore stuff. But we have other matches, other shows that are just nothing but that. So it's all based on the arena. It's all based on the state because the athletic commissions and everything. Nice, good tag team match to start the show. The Legion of Rot getting the victory over main event. And they're giving it a 3-star. Match itself is a little less than 10 minutes long, so it's just a good quality match to start a show. Next up, we had the Mecca taking on Makowski. This was a submission match. Makowski is one of the elite submission wrestlers on the independents, and in 6.5 minutes he made the Mecca submit in a 2 3/4 star match. Next up we had the always hated, one of the deathmatch, I don't want to say legends, but he's one of the deathmatch legends of the sport, of the deathmatch wrestling scene, Bayne and Kirk, taking on the ratty daddy Radrick, the Captain Iraq Shit Mountain, I think it's what his tagline is. This was another one of those matches. Didn't have a lot of hardcoreness to it, but just a good solid match. Brandon Kirk able to get the victory in 10 minutes over Cole Radrick. Now, mind you, this is the first show under the Matt Cardona as general manager realm. How's his realm going to go down? He's actually the first ever general manager in Game Changer Wrestling history. Now, the next match started with a bang, but ended with oh goodness, how's the best analogy for that? In a poof. We had Bang and Matthews, formerly known as the Bang Bros, because you couldn't Google them. Now you can Google them, Bang and Matthews. August Matthews, Davey Bang, taking on two GCW originals. Two gentlemen who like to partake in some extra curricular activity. They were, both of these gentlemen were featured vividly on 420. We're talking about the one and only Grim Reefer and the Ruckus. Well, Grim Reefer wrestles better with a doobie in his mouth, and Ruckus likes to take a couple drags as well. These two partake in some, extracurricular activity. When Grim Reefer went to light up said extracurricular activity, the general manager, no, not the general manager's Slacky, Broski Jimmy, come out and tells MLJ, no, in the new ECW or GCW with Mike Cardona as general manager, there will be no weed smoking. It is prohibited by the law. So obviously Grim Reefer getting ready to light up was like, what the hell just happened? So the fact that there was no weed, and that actually boosts Grim Reefer up, that actually helps him get through his matches. We know it's good for pain. Unfortunately, due to the fact he wasn't able to light up his little pain relief, Bang Matthews was able to get the victory over Grim Reefer and Ruckus in a 2 3/4 star match. Next up, we had the two big men, just a hoss fight. We had Parrow versus one called Manders. Parrow, part of the little faction with Charles Mason, his muscle. One called Manders, part of Second Gear Crew, which kind of offsets to Effie and Alley Cats. They're part of the crew as well. We know Mance Warner kicked himself out of the crew, went on to other things. So Manders fighting Parrow. This actually goes back to the Charles Mason stuff as well. Parrow actually took it to One Called Manders for the first half of this match. This match was 6 minutes and 46 seconds long. It was just a beatdown by Parrow the first half of it, if not longer. But then One Called Manders was able to make that big comeback, was able to get a couple solid lariats in on Parrow, and then able to get the victory there. 2 3/4 star match. Next up, we had Mance Warner taking on Marcus Mathers. Mance Warner was the first one out. He points off a gentleman in the crowd who was Marcus Mathers' father, holding Marcus Mathers' little brother. Looked like about a 4-year-old. When Mance Warner comes out, he walks over there and looks at this kid and goes, this little 4-year-old standing like this to Mance Warner. It was pretty epic. And he screamed the F word in front of this little kid's face. This kid stood up to him like, oh, that's so cute. But Manser told Marcus Mathers' dad that he was going to cripple him and kill him, basically. So yeah, this match's going to be real interesting to see what happens. Manser comes in the ring, or gets out of the ring, let Marcus Mathers come in. Mathers comes out, wants his dad, taking his ring gear off, or his entrance gear off, and then Manders attacks him from behind. Then Manders end up, kind of flaunting toward Marcus's dad as he's beating him down and all this. Marcus had a couple big comebacks, but at the end, Mance Warner was able to beat him down, eventually get the victory, ended up giving it 2.5. And then at the end, Marcus's dad and little brother comes in the ring after Manser has beaten down Marcus. And look, little man was just walking up to Manser like that. It's cute, but on the other hand, it's like, does the kid really know what he's doing? Does he understand this is not real? This is professional wrestling. But it was cute. Manser ended up getting the victory there. Again, I give it 2.5. Next up, we had Steph DeLander, the queen of GCW, I guess. I guess she's the assistant general manager, I guess. I don't know for sure. Her and Broski Jimmy out there taking on Cheeseburger and Matt Cardona on commentary. And Cardona was talking about how this was a squash match and how this was just all this, kind of putting down Cheeseburger and stuff. And Cheeseburger took it to Steph. He was out there, he was a game, 11.5 minutes, and finally at the end, Steph DeLander was able to get the victory. I ended up giving it 2 1/4 star. Next up, we had Joey Janela, Steph DeLander and Broski Jimmy and Matt Cardona beating down Cheeseburger. Janela comes out, tells the, quote, general manager, I want a title match at Cage of Survival. He says no. Steph DeLander says no. Broski Jimmy says no. Finally, Matt Cardona was like, all right, Joey Janela, if you beat your opponent, the next person that comes out, then you will get your title match at Cage of Survival. Next person coming out was Megan Bayne. Megan Bayne's actually signed to AEW. She's been wrestling a lot for Beyond Wrestling or Wrestling Open and up in the Northeast and the whole territory up through there. And so she's kind of diving into GCW a little bit, kind of get a little bit more experience before she gets on to AEW. This was actually a really good match at first. Ended up overall with like almost 19 minutes, but I give it 2 3/4 star. The problem is, the Deathmatch Royalty, which is Steph DeLander, Broski Jimmy, and Matt Cardona, got involved. Matt Cardona ended up calling it a no contest. So Janela goes after Matt Cardona, who tore his whatever muscle that Cody tore, bicep or whatever, pack, whatever it was that I think it's the same injury that Cody had. So he's got his arm like this and a brace and stuff, and he's like, I can't fight, and Joey was going after him, ready to kick his ass, and finally he agreed to give Joey Janela his match against Blake Christian at Cage of Survival, so that should be fun. Earlier in the night, we found out that at Cage of Survival in the cage, we will have Mance Warner versus Effie. They've done every kind of match imaginable to end this feud. Will it end in the cage? I don't think it will. I think this is something going to continue literally till one of these people die, Effie and Mance Warner, because they're just going to go after one another. But this ended in no contest. We still get Joe Janela but Blake Christian, so hopefully Joe Janela can finish his story and win the GCW World Heavyweight title at Cage or Survival in early June. Next up, we had a match for Broski Jimmy taking on Zilla Fatu. Yes, he is the cousin of Jacob Fatu and Solo Sequoia and all of them. He's part of the Fatu family. So he's been getting some seasoning here in GCW until he's able to get signed by WWE. I'm assuming that's coming. I'm actually surprised they haven't signed him kind of like they did with Solo and put him in NXT for a little bit and then bring him up with the main roster guys and the whole bloodline. Jacob Fatu's supposed to come. I'm assuming Zilla Fatu's coming. I honestly think they should put Zilla with the current bloodline, save Jacob to go with Roman and the Usos. But that's just my opinion on that. But Zillow ended up beating Broski Jimmy in 6 minutes. Ended up giving it 2 3/4 star. The main event was a hardcore match. We just had some doors, we had some chairs, some door bridges. Nothing extreme, but we had Nick Gage, the deathmatch god, the god of this shit, taking on Tony Deppen, the gatekeeper. Deppen's actually made some appearances in AEW and in Ring of Honor as well. Overall, this match was actually pretty darn good because we had Tony Deppen trying to get the jump on Nick Gage from the start. Again, the doors got involved, door bridges. At the end of it, Nick Gage was able to get the victory. I ended up giving it a 3-star. So overall, solid card. And for the first card in the Matt Cardona General Manager era. Second one was on Sunday night. We had the Sunday night special there in Ridge Park, New Jersey. We'll get that one watched and reviewed as well this coming weekend. Not only do we have WWE King and Queen of the Ring, we have AEW Double or Nothing, the 5-year anniversary. We have GCW Take a Picture and GCW Paranoid Friday, Saturday. On Sunday, Saturday, Sunday. On Sunday, we also have, if you're a motorsports fan, we have the F1 Grand Prix of Monaco. We have the Indianapolis 500. We have the Coca-Cola 600. We actually have a guy trying to do the double, the Indy 500 and the Coke 600. If he's able to do it, he'd be the first. He'd be the 6th driver to do that in the history of since 1994, the modern day history. We have some issues with that, so if you're an NASCAR fan, stay tuned and check those reviews out. And we'll kind of talk about what could stop him from doing the big double. But that is GCW Most Notorious. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show. And don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports show content.